welcome back. We are continuing our series of Python certification examples as we walk through the Python certification series for the Certified Associate in Python Programming. We're walking through a lot of these. Actually, we're going to eventually walk through all of these items to some extent and go through some examples. This episode, we are going to look at list functions. Now, we've worked with lists before, and this is going to be part one. There's a lot to go over. So this time we're just going to take our first stab at it, and then next episode we'll come through and get the second part, get the rest of those functions. We've created some lists before. We're going to probably stick with the colors, and we've also added an example list. And really what we're doing here, because of some of the examples, is we're going to see where our initial one was red, green, blue, white, black. The second one actually has got blue, white, and black. So we have those last three duplicated. So we actually see duplicates. It's not a bunch of unique values. It actually has more than one instance of some values, which is going to become important for some of the, makes it useful for some of the functions we're going to look at. The first one I want to look at is append. And now this one, it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to work off of this colors array. And we're just going to go in and we're going to say colors append, and then we're going to give it the string yellow. So let's see how that works out. So if we do it, we see where our initial list started out was red, green, blue, white, black. We append yellow, and then yellow, as you would expect, gets appended. Now, an interesting thing, we've looked before, I think there's a point in the past where we did an example where we had we tried to append an array. And so if we try to add purple and pink, so let's do that. So we add yellow, and then we're going to turn right around and add purple and pink. What we see now is yellow is as we expected, but when we do purple, pink, it actually appends the array that we send. See, this is what we're sending it. We're sending it an array. So it actually makes that array an item. So if we looked at it, if we wanted to work with it within this big array, they're indexed by 0. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so if we looked at that and did print, colors, can I get it right? There we go, colors 6. Then we can see that it actually is not pulling purple. It's not appending each item. It's appending that actual array. So if we did that in reverse, if we did the purple, pink first, and then the yellow, probably be more visible. As we see here, the array gets appended, and notice with that, we've got those brackets, then a comma, and then yellow. So this would be whatever that was, I think 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's item 5. And the array is this. Item 6 is yellow. So that's append. We actually can take an item and put it, dynamically add it to the end of an array. Next one we're going to look at is copy. So let's move this down a little bit. And I have more example code that I'm sort of adjusting this time because this is a second attempt. I had some technical issues recording this first time, so we're doing a clean copy of this. So speaking of copy, the next one we use is copy. So if we take colors and copy it and do a dot copy, we're going to take a look at what that returns. And then, oops, sorry, that one, I got to print it first. So we're going to do the return value, and then we'll just, for grins, print out the original value. Let me do this. Let me do, whoop. So we can open that up a little bit more. There we go. Let's do it this way. Pardon me. Okay, so let's clear this first so we can see it up at the top. Okay. So copy, we come in and we take a look. Colors 2 is the result value when we do copy, that dot copy. So here's colors 2. And notice then when we turn around and print colors, it's exactly the same. However, now they are different. So if I went to, and let's do colors to append thafter I do that. Now we'll see that colors 2 got the yellow appended, but colors did not. So these two are completely new, distinct list. It's not just another pointer into it. This is actually a true deep copy of one array to another. And this is going to be important as we get into the certification test. For some of these is looking at what is actually returned as well with some of these things. So copy returns the copy. It does not somehow copy it within the existing copy. So let's move on to clear. Same thing. Now this time we had colors 2, so we've gone through, we've copied it. Now we're going to clear it, and we're going to see what colors 2 and then colors 1 looks like. So here we do a clear on 2, and it gives us an empty array. And notice that the original colors still exist. So we have effectively, we have turned our color 2 into an empty list. And that's all clear does. It just gets rid of all the items, no matter how they're set up. And even note that although we have an array in here, it got just every single item, didn't matter what it was, it cleared it out. Next one I want to do is we're going to do count. And so let's so we're going to do a couple things here. So let's look at each of these arrays. So if we're first going to do, let's do it like this, print colors 2 and day array. So now if I take a look at those, we'll clear it first. So if we go for the count, when we count colors here, and so we count red, there is one red in that whole list. If we count R, it's counting actual items, it's not counting like within there. So if we count like R, even though there's an R here and R here, red and green, and I guess even purple's got one. There's not an item that matches R, so we get 0 back. Important to note that we have the empty result set. If we try to count red within that, it's not there, so it's an empty set, and it's valid. You can try to count it, but it's just going to give back 0 no matter what. Similarly, when we do the day array is 11, 12. So even though this is numbers now, when I try to count ones, it's not counting, it doesn't count the ones that are in each of those numbers. It's looking for the item 1. So if I did day array dot append 1 and then do the count, sorry. Let's do this. There we go. Let's see, day array, if we append a 1, let's see how that looks. Yeah, so we hear, oh, interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, mistake there. Here I'm counting the string 1, so I get 0 back, if you see down here. But if I count the number 1, then I get a 1 back. So you do have to have type awareness basically as you go through this. So that's your counts. It's counting how often something occurs within the array. The next one we can do is list index. And let's print colors just to be safe. And so here, when we go to this one, we're going to count, we're going to try to get the index of blue. Then It's 0, 1, 2. 2 is our answer. Let's do, what was that other one? That was called example, and we're going to do something that recurs twice. So let's do red with an example. And so let's take a look at that one. So here, if we do example and we do the index of red, which we know occurs twice, whoops, is it ends up getting us a 0 because it doesn't know which one to do. If I do green, which does turn out, which there's only one, then green is going to give me the 1. So I'm not going to get the first, which you may expect for list index. If I have multiple occurrences, it's just going to give me back, let me go back to this, and say it's going to give me back 0. Not undefined, but 0, because it's basically saying I found more than one. So the index function is essentially finding one and only one occurrence. Otherwise, you're going to get a 0. So let's go to remove. Let's put a little line feed in there first. And so we get here, and we're going to remove blue. So we see here, here's our blue, and then it just removes it and shifts everything over. Same kind of thing if I do, let's do example. And try to remove red. Let's see what that does. Example. And so now if we try to do a remove of red, note that it didn't do us any good. Is, well, I'm sorry, it removed the first one it hit. So in the remove situation, is it removed red, but not all of reds. So if I do remove twice, then let's see where now I don't have any reds left in it. So it's just going to remove the first occurrence. And again, that's different from, for example, like index does not find the first, but removes the first one. And we've already, I guess I move this here. Before I get into this next one, we will take a look real quick at what happens when you do the index of white after removing blue. And then we're going to look at doing an insert. So we're going to come back and we removed blue up here, and we're going to color, on colors we're going to insert blue back in. So let's see how that looks. Let me clear this, get back to the top. There we go. So if we come down here, so remove, note that when we removed blue, it shifted white over, so now white gets the index of 2. Now coming back here, we went back and inserted blue into index 2, which is 0, 1, 2, and we've basically rebuilt our situation there. So we shifted everything, but when we insert it back in, it inserts it and shifts everything to the right. Remove shifts to left, insert shifts to the right. And then the last one we're going to cover in this one is pop. And in this case, we're just going to go in colors, and we're going to pop, and then we're going to pop again. So let's actually, well, we just printed colors, so this will be easy to see. So if we go to the bottom here, when we do pop, we see this was the last thing we had. When we do pop, pop returns the value, the last value in the array. So this is what pop returns. And then it actually changed. You'll see here, colors.pop. First we print that, and then we just print the colors array again. And now it's missing that last item. If we call pop again, it takes yellow out. It returns yellow. And now we've modified the array without yellow existing in there anymore. So essentially, pop is the reverse of append. When we go to append, we put stuff at the end. Pop, so sometimes you would expect it would be push and pop, but it's append and pop are our two functions related to that. That'll do it for this time. I think we've gone long enough in this episode. So we will come back and we will hit part 2 of our list functions. As always, you can find this out in our GitHub repository. There'll be links out in the show notes. And we'll catch you next time. So go out there, have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time.